Brandon, why are you here?
I'm here to find out the truth about my son, 2-year-old son, and to see if he's truly mine. I'm tired of the lies. I want to know.
Who's lying to you?
Rachel.
And why do you think she's lying to you?
Because we'd get in fights and stuff, and she would say that he's mine and say that he's not.
So she goes back and forth, whether telling you whether you're the father or not.
Yes, sir.
At one point, you were with Rachel, but she also, at a certain period when you were sleeping with her, she was sleeping with this guy, Nick. Did you know that she was sleeping with Nick?
I didn't know until we were off and on for 7 years. She came to me when she was 15, told me that she was pregnant, but there's a chance that it could be somebody else's.
So when she says that to you, how did you react?
It pissed me off. It hurt so bad. It felt like my heart just crumbled up and just.
And how old were you at the time?
I was 17.
17. So what'd you do then?
Well, we broke up and I went off to work, going out of town and all this. Nick stepped into the plate. He was there for the whole pregnancy. He cut the cord. He was there. He did everything. I'll give him that to step in it. But the fact...
But he was under the impression that he might have been the father.
Yes. He did not know that there was a chance that it could be mine until a couple days of my son's birth.
But then you ended up going back to Rachel, right?
Yes.
And why'd you do that?
When Nick was watching him and he was smoking weed around my son. I confronted him. He said, there's not a damn thing you can do about it because he is my son, not yours. I'll do whatever I want. Up to 2 months later, he walked out. He moved to Arizona. He abandoned what could be his son and his fiance at the time. I had stepped back in the plate, and since then on to a month ago, I was taking care of my son, taking care of her, being there for both of them, doing everything I can.
And why aren't you now?
Up to a month ago, I found out that she had been talking to Nick behind my back, telling him that she loves him. He's been telling her the same.
Do you think this is your son?
Yes, I believe it 100%.
You look at him and you say you see yourself in him?
I see myself in him. He does everything that I did when I was little.
And here's a picture of the guy.
I love him more than anything in the world.
He does look like you, I'll give you that. I mean, you know.
And I will say this, if he's not mine, I will still be there for him. I will still do everything I can for him.
As far as Rachel goes, you're done with her.
Yeah.
That's probably, just from what you're telling me, that sounds like
I don't see how
a good plan.
A guy can go from being there through the whole pregnancy, cutting the cord, signing the birth certificate, knowing it could be somebody else's, and then leaving at 4 months old. How do you do that to your own kid?
And how old is the little boy now?
He's 2.5 years old.
All right, you wanted to know how somebody could do that? Well, Nick's here. Let's find out. Let's bring him out.
How could you do that? How could you do that? 2 months old and you're smoking weed around him? 2 months old?
You're smoking
He's still
crack.
an infant. And then 2 months later, 4 months years old.
Where were you this whole time?
I've been there for 2.5 years.
Well, I was in the hospital.
6 months and I was not there.
Well, I was in the hospital.
You were in the hospital. You took up for him when I found out she was cheating on me with your dumb ass.
Listen to yourself.
4 months old, Nick, and you walk out on them. You don't go back. You don't see how they're doing.
I spent that whole time in the hospital because I thought. How can you say that I smoked weed around a baby? Listen to yourself. That's horrible to lie about somebody about that.
Did you smoke weed around
Absolutely
the baby?
not, Steve.
So he's making that up.
That's completely 100% a lie.
And he's just out of the blue. Never saw you smoke marijuana. You don't smoke marijuana?
I don't smoke now. I used to smoke then, but I would never ever smoke around a baby, especially when I thought he could be mine. You know, I thought he was my son.
At some point, Brandon's with Rachel, young love, together many years. He thinks she's, pregnant by him, but then finds out she's sleeping with you too.
Well, see, the whole time I thought that, I was the only one in the picture. I knew that Brandon and her were off and on, but I mean, the whole time I was with Rachel,
She made you to believe that you were exclusive with each other.
Yes, absolutely.
And when you found out that here she's pregnant, you say you found out after she gave birth to the boy?
Yeah. you know, it might not be mine.
And when she tells you this, that it might not be yours, and here you're in the delivery room, you're cutting the, you know, the cord and everything else, the joys of being a new father, and then you find out, hey, I'm sleeping with Brandon too.
It tears me apart, Steve. I mean, it really did. I mean, I wanted it to be my son. I wouldn't have stepped up to the plate and done all that stuff.
You hope that he's your son?
Yeah, I mean, I really do.
Let's bring out the mother of the child that you both think that you might be the father. Let's bring out Rachael.
You haven't been there since he was 4 months old. How can you say he deserves to know who his dad is? You haven't been there.
He deserves
He's
to know
2.
either way.
You missed out on everything.
Whether I'm there or not. I mean, look at what you told me. He doesn't even look like me.
You were there, Nick. You were there from the pregnancy all the way up till it was born.
What am I
and then
supposed
you
to
run
do
out.
when
You missed
someone
out on his
tells
first
me-
walk. You missed out on his first words. You missed out on everything.
And you missed
What are you
out on
gonna
the
do?
hospital.
What are you gonna do if he turns out to be yours and he don't call you dad? He still calls me dad.
Well, then
That's gonna rip you to shreds.
He'll know sooner or later
Nick,
who...
he doesn't know you.
In all fairness, Rachael, haven't you created a bad situation for both
Yeah,
these
I
guys?
did.
Why are you hoping that it's Brandon's?
He loves Brandon. Brandon's been there for him the whole time.
Except for the time when he was born, when you had Nick there.
Yeah, but Brandon's raised him. He's helped me.
Why'd you let him sign the birth certificate, knowing that he could have been mine?
I don't know, Brandon.
Well, you should know why you let a man sign the birth certificate.
Honestly, I thought he was Nick's because me and Nick were together at the time.
But you
I
were,
had no
but you
idea.
had been together with him too.
She played games with us in high school. Me and him were in high school. Back and forth, back and forth. 1 week it'll be me, 1 week it'll be him.
Do you love either one of these guys?
I love Brandon.
You love Brandon.
I want my family back. I've always loved Brandon since I was like 6th grade.
I don't want to be with you. I don't trust you no more. I'll be there 110% for no matter either way, but I will not be there for you.
And at what point do you start making adult decisions? Start what's best for the child instead of what's best for you? You know, you're with the guy that's stepping up to the plate. When do you say, hey, if he's here and I love him, I can't be sending a message to another guy that I love him? Can you relate to this story? Need my help? Call 1-888-STEVE-07. Did you ever see Nick smoke marijuana around your son?
No.
Nick, you took a lie detector test before the show and you were asked, have you ever smoked marijuana in the presence of Rachel's son? You answered no. Have you ever smoked marijuana while holding Rachel's son? You answered no. And the results for Nick's lie detector test is that he told the truth. And you didn't smoke pot in front of the child, and now you gave up pot forever, right?
Absolutely.
I'm glad we didn't ask that on the lie detector test. I gotta say, he does look like Brandon. Let's find out if Brandon's the father. Brandon, you are not the father.
Still gonna be there for him.
Rachel, you don't know what love is.
I do feel bad for you because you obviously really wanted to be the father of this child. I like the fact that you say that you're still going to be there for this little guy because if for the last 2 years, if he's been looking at you like that, that's never going to change in his mind. Nick, you took a DNA test before the show, and the results are you are the father. You really screwed up, Nick.
Yeah, I did.
You ran away from your child. I want to know what you're going to do now that you know you are the father.
I'm going to do anything that I possibly can for that boy.
Rachael, anything you want to say to Nick?
I just hope you're there for him.
I will be.
He needs dad.
You know, I could be wrong, and I just met you a short time, but it's almost like you really don't care either way. This is about the paternity of your child, and here's this guy's devastated. This guy found out, and you're just kind of standing there like I just gave you today's paper.
Either way, I think they're both good people.
I hope you show more passion for your child. I mean, you're just standing there like it's no big deal.
It is a big deal. Now he knows who his real dad is. Not yet.
You haven't seen your son in almost 2 years. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But you're here today. You want to go see him?
Absolutely.
Let's go see him.
I called you, Steve, for help because I watch your show all the time.
Somebody's going to watch this and say, you know what? She was brave enough to do that. I can do that too.